Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Nazrani Voice. This episode is part of a mini series that we're doing, talking to some of the other eparchies and Syro Malabar eparchies around the world. So we're going to be talking to the lovely folks from Australia today. As of now, you guys are actually the last of the three that we're interviewing. So this is good. We're going to have a really great conversation. I'm excited. Our guests will introduce themselves in a second. But yeah, this is hopefully a good chance for us, at least on the U.S. side, to learn more about the other eparchies, to be like, oh my gosh, there's other Syro Malabar people out there all over the world. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to our three wonderful guests to give them a chance to introduce themselves, to just share like your name, your role within the eparchy. If you have a former role that you want to share about, talk about that too. I feel like we should do like a fun fact or something. How do we do like... Australia is such a unique country. Can you do like something that you feel is uniquely Australian? Ooh, yeah. Okay. Let's see.
Put us on the spot.
I know. This is hard-hitting journalism here. If that's a good question, we could totally do something else if you want.
No, that's on it.
All right. Aku, you seem pretty confident.
I reckon we got oldest to youngest.
No, I'm literally blanking right now.
Let's clarify any misconceptions about the ages of anyone on this call.
What?
Okay. Are there misconceptions? This is off to such a chaotic start already.
All the time. I want clarification on who the unks in this chat are.
All right. With that, okay. Aku, who's going first then?
I think she knows who she is.
No. Okay. Isham everyone. I am Christina. I am from Adelaide, South Australia, but I'm currently in Canberra because that's where I'm working, which is also the capital of Australia. Fun fact. My profession is an engineer. I come from a family of 5, a younger brother, a sister, and of course, mother and father. And fun Australian fact, I've seen more kangaroos in the last 2 years living in Canberra than I have in like the 15, 16 years I've been in Australia. And when I say like I've seen them like up close and like them jumping onto the road and just give me a fright. So that's Australia. So if that's the conception you had of Australia, if you come to Canberra, that is a reality. That's me.
All right, who's going next?
Say this soon. Here we go. Hey guys, I'm Steve. I'm from Sydney. I currently am looking for new work. I can work in the IT consulting space. I've got a family of 4. I have a younger sister as well. Fact about here at least, even though you think of Australia, it's usually hot and you have like nice summer kind of vacation kind of concepts here. It's getting more colder, I think, and now it's approaching winter and it's actually freezing. So for some reason, that identity is slowly going away. So that's a bit about me.
All right. Finally, the youngest.
Good.
Okay. So, Isham Sheikh is the I am Akash, but everyone calls me Aku. So if you hear that, that's why. I am, like Christina, I'm from Adelaide. I chose to stay because I'm loyal. I currently work in Australian Defence, is in project management. And I have a wonderful family of 4, 2 beautiful parents, beautiful sister, younger sister. And I've served in the Eparchy of Melbourne on parish teams, on 2 national teams, and with my brother and Steve, we did a full year of full-time mission together for our eparchy in 2025. And I think that's enough about me for now, and then we'll obviously dive more into each other as the interview goes.
Awesome. All right. So, Aku, you shared a little bit about the work that you've done for the eparchy. Christina and Steve, can you guys share a little bit about your roles as well? More like what's your day-to-day? I'm very curious on the church side of things. Christina first.
Yep. So I have the privilege to serve this eparchy for a long time. So I served as a parish coordinator for my parish for 4 years. And then I was the secretary in the national team while also being the secretary in my parish team for 2 years. And then just until February this year, for 2 years, I had the privilege of serving as the national coordinator for SMYM 2024 to 2026. And I just passed the baton to the new set of leaders. So my day-to-day is very different now that I've stepped down from a lot of the roles. But before, I was very much in between meetings. I had the privilege to go to mission across Australia, do quite a few in smaller missions across Australia, not as much as Aku and Steve, who did a full year mission, but definitely still had a taste of what that would look like when I would have 2 weeks off during uni break, or get a cheeky week off at work and things like that. So that was really good. I also had the privilege of going international. So I was a part of the Australian group who went to Arise conference in Italy in 2022, I believe. And then also had the privilege of going to World Youth Day. So definitely have been blessed with so many opportunities because of SMYM and because of the ministry that I was privileged to do. And of course, meeting these guys, I mean, less Aku because I've known him since he was like a wee child. And Steve and so many other people across Australia and New Zealand and now across the world, that has all been because of SMYM. So that has been me so far within the leadership ministry that I've done. But yes, that's me. And Steve?
Yes, so same as Christina, I've been part of SMYM for a long time. So I had the privilege of being one of the first coordinators in my parish back from 2019 onwards, and then I was served that 2-3 years, and then I was a counsellor in my local team, and I was also SMTM coordinator in my local parish, and I also had the privilege of serving on the national team, the second national team back from 2020 to 2022. I was the first SMTM coordinator, and that was a unique privilege. I was very young as well at the time, but I was grateful for the opportunity to serve in that team, learn a lot of different things. And at that time, SMYM was really evolving, and COVID hit as well. So that really was a difficult time for SMYM. But by God's grace, we as a team, we did our best to make it fruitful in those 2 years. And I was grateful to be a part of it. And after that, I've again, the privilege of being on mission as well, doing missions across Australia. My first mission, I think, was in 2022. And from then on, it's always been, I've been growing each time I went on a mission. And I had the grace to do a full year mission last year with Aku as well. And that was an unexpected blessing. I didn't plan to do a full year mission. I was planning to do a master's and, keep looking into those things. But, God called me for that. And I was very privileged because I think the biggest thing from that I got was for myself. I think I just grew the most myself. I used to give myself more to God and, how I can be more of a service to Him. So I guess that was the biggest blessing. And at the same time, having different family with the mission team. Aku was there. We had 2 or 3 other people as well as part of that team. So it was like a new family for me as well. Got to travel across Australia, go to all the main parishes and see a lot of youth and teenagers and, share our stories and just witness Christ. So that was a big blessing. And that's what I did last year. And this year I'm still continuing here in my local parish. We have a new thing called Tents here. And it's part of the Australian initiative here in our Eparchy. We have Slea the Mishiha. And then we have different tents across Australia. So I'm the Sydney tent coordinator here. So I'm just part of organising the different mission initiatives in Sydney. So that's what I'm currently doing. And I'm still currently serving as a formator in my own parish as well. So that's what I do right now. And that's what I've done in the past.
Yeah, I think I love that you all mentioned travel because I feel like it's a very travel heavy job. I feel like shouldn't say job, ministry. I just like jokingly saying job, but yeah, no, I think it's really beautiful. Yeah, to be able to meet people from across the country, across the world is such a big blessing. That's awesome. I'm glad that you are able to do ministry. Just like as a quick, maybe just like to get the numbers out of the way. Like roughly how many parishes and missions are there? I'm not sure if you guys know off the top of your head.
Aku, let's go.
We, as of August 2025, this is the last figure I know, we have 74 missions and parishes across our eparchy.
Okay, nice. And I always forget with Australia. Is it technically called territories, states? Like what's the...
We have states and territories. So there's 5 states and 2 territories.
I'm in the territory right now.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh yeah, Canberra. Yeah, because I've seen it. It's like it. I know the abbreviation of it ends with a T. So like that's how I.
ACT. Yeah.
ACT.
Australian Capital Territory.
Basically, any place that's not worth calling a state, we call it a territory.
Wow, that is. Although to be fair, I think we also technically call anything that's not a state a territory as well. So yeah, that makes sense. But our capital is also, I guess our capital, because it's DC, so District of Columbia. So we call it a district instead of.
Is that what DC stands for?
Yeah, District of Columbia.
No.
Really, I don't know that as well.
Fair.
Well, there you go. We learn something new every day.
Yep. Yeah. So Washington DC, the DC is District of Columbia.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I don't know why it's called the District of Columbia, but sure, it's there. And Australian Capital Territory. That makes more sense as an acronym. Okay, cool. That was such a random tangent. Okay, so it's like spread out across the country mostly, because I know for us it's like a lot of very like East Coast heavy in terms of where a lot of our missions and churches are. Is it the same for you guys? Like, is it more towards? Because I know like Sydney, Melbourne, or I've seen like Instagram reels pop up from those churches, and then a few from Adelaide and like Perth. I think have I covered like all the major areas? Okay.
Queensland. We have parishes and missions all across the state and the territories. I think, Aku, your number also includes New Zealand. Is that right?
It includes, so if we're getting very technical with it, the Eparchy of Melbourne actually consists of 14 countries and regions.
Yeah.
Even though Australia is the highest majority, followed by New Zealand, we have like around us like all these little like we have Micronesia. Like I didn't even know there was a place. All of that comes under the Melbourne Park technically, and for all I know, there could be a mission there. But the huge consolidation of it is in Australia and New Zealand.
So with Singapore and stuff, like if there's like a Syro Malabar church there, like or like I don't know exactly what qualifies for.
I am not too well versed in what our 14 countries are. I fully expect Singapore to be there because we've had people from Singapore come to our national conference before.
Yeah.
So I do expect that they're probably part of it. I don't quote me on that, whether they're part of the Eparchy, but it's much bigger. Even though we say Eparchy of Melbourne, it's actually like our 14 countries.
Massive.
But the greatest consolidation of it does sit within Australia.
Australia, yeah.
Nice. Okay. Wow, that's so cool. I think technically, wouldn't that make you the biggest Eparchy, at least by like country count?
But yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
But that also means we have the most like percentage of like countries that is still unexplored. Like we haven't gone beyond New Zealand. We would love to, but there's a lot of logistics and things that need to be figured out. So that means uncharted territories over here. Lots to do.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's such a great scope for mission work too. It's just which of the 14 do we pick today to just go and start the Syro Malabar community in?
Just blindfold and pick.
Exactly.
I mean, outside of Australia and New Zealand, at least 12, just like one every month. So
I'm just saying that's a good idea.
We're getting the mission plan sorted in this. Okay, I like it.
Yeah, we're gonna forget the interview. We're gonna talk about this instead. Okay, cool. So can you share a little bit more about like what that? Well, actually, before we do that, so roughly 74 church communities scattered through Australia, New Zealand, other places that are yet to be discovered. Awesome. Can you share a bit more, like if you know, like roughly, like when did the Eparchy start? Because I think it was like early 2010s, 20 somethings. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. My memory is around
2013.
Okay.
2013 establishment, and then 2014 was like official announcement at like the council, like the synod.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Cool. Okay, so you guys have like been around for a while then. Like, and do you feel like, I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this, like how is the development? Like, have you seen it grow? Because I know, Christina, you mentioned you've been here for like 15 or 16 years. So clearly when the Eparchy was established, you were here. Yeah. That makes sense. Like, how have you guys seen the development of like the Eparchy, particularly like the youth movement and things like that? Like, do you feel like you've seen it grow a lot since it started?
Oh, 100%. I think the way I would explain our growth is like explosive growth. Like a lot of things happened very quickly. And like we felt that, especially when like all of us were doing our respective leadership positions. Because at least at the time, from a youth ministry point of view, there was very few youth who are old enough to fall under the youth category, but lots of work that needed to be done. So it was quite explosive. And now, like, especially for me, now that I'm like stepping down and I'm seeing other people take up the mantle, like looking back, that gives me such a whole new perspective on how much was achieved in the very few years that we were here. But yeah, even going as far as our eparchy, like I remember when I was in Australia, there was a time where we would borrow a priest to come once a month or once every 2 months at a school that we would hire, like a bunch of Malu families would hire to do catechism by some of these parents. And we would ask a priest to come to celebrate the Holy Qurbana for us once a month or once every 2 months or something like that. So to go from there to then have a priest and then, slowly have like an actual mission, which then turned into a parish. And suddenly like all of these things where suddenly it felt like this was a community that we belonged to, not something that we just partook in whenever it was convenient or whenever it was available. I like looking back, remembering all of that. I think it was such a privilege, at least for me, because that allowed me to really appreciate the gift of the community that I've been blessed with. Because prior to coming to Australia, my family was based in the Middle East. And back then, I would just call myself a Roman Catholic because I didn't know the difference between a Roman Catholic or Syro Malabar. There was nothing crazy. Like there was nothing like big for me to like differentiate between the two. It just meant I was a Catholic. And so I would just, like, I heard my parents say RC, so I would be like, I am RC. That's all I knew. But I've attended Syro Malabar Qurbana even in the Middle East. I just didn't realize it because I don't know what it was and I wasn't able to differentiate it. So coming to Australia, coming to a point where I would go to Holy Qurbana, not really understand why I was there and not a Latin Mass that was like closer to home or convenient, whatever. And then slowly over the years, growing to appreciate, growing to love and just learn more about the rite and about my identity as a Syro Malabar. Like for me personally, I truly am so grateful that I was able to go through that journey because I've seen some of the younger kids who are just fully brought up into this world. And because they haven't seen the flip side, like this is all they know. Like I think I've been blessed with such a whole new perspective because I've seen both sides. So at least for me, I've definitely seen the growth of our eparchy to some extent. But the youth ministry itself was such a huge and explosive growth. And sometimes it like makes us think, whoa, we did so much in so little time. Like we would, I think during World Youth Day and maybe Horizon things, we would do introductions. Each diaspora did an introduction. And we tried to do, I think it was a 5-minute introduction. And we tried to explain it by showing videos. And the amount of videos that we had, like we couldn't fit it into 5 minutes because we had so many videos. We had so many things to say. And we cut out so many because we couldn't fit it in the time. And that's when we were realizing, wow, we did so much. And a lot is things that we can't just like fit in a time slot. Like it needs to be reviewed, it needs to be studied. And like only people like us who've done ministry or people who walked with this growth really experienced and lived through it, so can like tell the stories of it. And no video could like, ever speak to it the way it has actually progressed. But yes, it has been a lot and it has been such a blessing.
Yeah. And Steve, was it the same experience? I know do you grow up primarily in Sydney or are you in Sydney now? I'm trying to remember.
No, primarily I've been here since I was 5. So yeah, most of my life I've been in Sydney. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it the same experience for you? Because I guess they're on different sides of the country, right? Was there like a difference geographically in terms of seeing how the growth happened? Is my geography correct there?
Yeah.
What do you compare? Sorry, what are you comparing Sydney like geographically?
Oh, sorry. I was saying, I know, let me explain that a little better. So I know that for us, at least, a big thing was it started on the East Coast and then like made its way west in terms of seeing some of the more formal things take shape in like the eparchy and like things with youth movements and stuff like that. I was just curious. I don't actually know geographically how far apart like Sydney is, but like, was there any difference? Did you have like a different experience in your own community in Sydney?
Yeah, thanks for clarifying. Yeah, I think Sydney to Adelaide at least maybe 16 hours because it's to drive to Melbourne it's 8 hours and it's 8 hours from Melbourne to Adelaide. And I think honestly, back in 2014, like I was in year 7, so I had no idea what was going on in Adelaide. So I'm not sure how I was there. But in that time when the Eparchy started, at least in Sydney, we had like several communities, like 2 or 3 main communities. So I think our parish was actually like previously called, like, we had Sydney as like the main name for it. At the end, it was like used to be this one central kind of community with a lot of people. So when that Eparchy started, I think we started our catechism back in 2014. And then through that, I think it slowly grew. It took time, but I think in my batch, there was only like a couple of kids, but the ones older than us, there was barely any. I think from my year in catechism onwards is when there was actual students in the grades. So I think in terms of the growth, yeah, I think it took a while. It grew to 2019, but then when COVID happened, that definitely slowed a lot of things. And then we had some other issues in our community. So then we had to, we moved away location. So some people couldn't travel that far to come to our parish. So that reduced numbers a bit of our community. And we used to have a big community really, compared to what we're supposed to have now, at least. But then after COVID, we grew again, and now at least currently we're like a new vibrant community. There's new people coming in every week. Because a lot of new families moving in, at least migration-wise. I think migration as well, back in 2006, that time there wasn't that many Malayali families, but then it grew over time. Compared to America, I think I know of it started ages ago, migration, right? So in Sydney, at least in Australia, I think 2006 onwards, I think maybe it started increasing, at least in Sydney here. That's what I know of. But that's how it is. I think, yeah, it took time for the Eparchy to grow and at least its influence to grow in Sydney at least. But now definitely we can clearly say Sydney and like NSW itself is very active. There's many communities here, and we have a lot of amazing youth as well. So yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, I think I'm thinking about us. Technically, we started having Malayalis come over like in terms of like really big surges in like the 70s. That's really when it kicked off. Obviously, it took a very long time for the Syro Malabar community relative to then to be established. But like I think even then, by like the 90s, you had some like Kurbanas and stuff sort of starting to happen. Definitely by late 90s, because that Eparchy was established for us, I think, 2001, 2002, 2001. Yeah, and so we've been building for a while, and yeah, because that's the reason I asked Anstey about that question geographically, because I know sometimes like if it starts in one area, there's like almost like a flowering growth that needs to happen to get everywhere within a certain region or like territory or country. But yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think COVID probably did a number on every eparchy and diocese in the world. What was COVID like for you guys? Did you guys all also just go fully virtual on everything, like virtual retreats, all of that stuff? Aku, do you remember anything from that?
More or less. So conveniently, where Christina and I are from Adelaide, it did very well in COVID time. In terms of almost no lockdowns or any of that kind of stuff. A lot of preventative measures, like your social distancing and all that. But at least from a parish level, we actually didn't experience it that much. We only hit like online kurbanas for a small period of time. After that, a lot of other rules we had. But then you have your places like Sydney, Melbourne, and all that were really bad. In fact, if I'm not wrong, Melbourne was considered one of the worst places to be when the pandemic happened globally.
They had 8 lockdowns.
So like those kind of areas definitely on a city level, definitely very well affected. But like Steve alluded to, at least on the SMYM side, and Steve's national team at the time, National Team 2.0, really pulled a really good weight of bringing the youth community together, at least through our online retreat, through the online space gatherings, initiatives and stuff. So even though a lot of hardship, a lot of bad things happened, I think God definitely worked in our Eparchy that we didn't really experience too much hardship or we weren't too affected by it.
I think in some extent we thrived during COVID only because the online presence was so much stronger than ever before. And the national team at the time really pulled through with like some strong media presence. And I remember like when we did the online Kurbanas, it was around just before Easter and things like that. And a lot of parishes, especially when virtual, they would have like daily online Kurbana. So a lot of people started joining the online Kurbana. These are some people who might have not gone to Kurbana every single day or not gone to Mass every single day. They started attending Holy Qurban every single day or attending Holy Mass every single day, just because they were home. They had nothing to do. And then I know a lot of youth teams also capitalized on the fact that everyone was home, everyone was virtual. So like there was a bunch of like online games where you could log in with all your friends, like Among Us. I still remember like popping off like crazy. So there was a lot of impromptu, like a lot of the kids got like felt easier to like connect with other people. So they'd be like, oh, let's just jump on a call. And then they would call for like 2 or 3 hours, start with like a game or something. Some might do like a Bible study, some might do a little bit of prayer, some people might do like a D&M, like a deep and meaningful conversation for a little bit, get to know one another. So I think, at least from the people I've spoken to, COVID times really brought a lot of people together because it helped people just drop the walls that they had of, oh, I don't want to like, jump into their friendship group and like, intrude in any way, because there was no such thing at the time. Like we were all just jumping on, we're just on a call, and yeah, it just felt like a fever dream because even the sense of time was just all weird because everyone was online. So, and like uni was online. Most people who were, I don't know if anyone was working that I know of between the youth at the time, but like even the work things like shifted to online platforms. So everything just felt like you were between your four walls. So, anyone that you could talk to, any community that you could seek out, like people did. So I like, all things aside, I think COVID time was such a peak time for us to like thrive as a community. And a lot of the youth ministries really grew in that time and bonded over that time, from what I've seen anyway.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think, I will just say as a really random shout out to you guys, I think more than any other eparchy, more than any other collection of churches, your like social media content, your reels, like the work that you guys put in as an eparchy and all of your churches show up even more than any other church. So like I'll always have like some random SMYM show up and I'm like, oh, this is also a church in Australia. That's cool. I didn't know it existed. And so, yeah, there's so many random, I don't even know how many Melbourne eparchy churches I follow at this point, but I feel like I do hit follow for most of them because the reels are really, really good.
Top quality, top tier.
Yep. I think I mentioned this to Christina and Aku, but that reel from Adelaide like a couple of days ago.
Basketball promo.
Oh, the basketball
promo. Oh my God. I saw that in the morning and I'm like, there's no way this is real. Like this,
Mate, bring a USA Dream Team down for the tournament.
All right.
Are they still taking teams? Is the EOI still open?
Yeah, it is.
There you go.
I mean, there's no international EOI. I might have set that up.
We could, maybe next World Youth Day, we'll just have a big basketball. That's actually a really good idea.
Hey, we'll find a way to bring LeBron.
You're talking about that. I was thinking of my Syro Dream Team. Okay, never mind.
Oh, I mean that's no. I meant like LeBron and those guys. It's like celebrity appearances.
Oh yeah.
Hype
That's, you vastly underestimate how much pull I have in this eparchy country.
At World Youth Day, we already have the Pope. I don't think we need a higher, bigger name, really.
I think Melvin Hutchin. I think if Melvin Hutchin put his mind to it, he can make it happen.
That would probably be the biggest American celebrity we could get. So if you think about it, for next year in Seoul, we are bringing an American celebrity, just not the one that you want. He's no LeBron. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's yeah. We got to make that happen. Now I can't stop. I won't stop thinking about this. I'm going to text Melvin Hutchin the second I get off this call and be like, basketball tournament, we're doing this. Yeah, that's awesome. But no, yeah, it's really great content. And I think, yeah, like especially during COVID where things were so difficult physically to get done. I mean, yeah, being able to do things virtually, run retreats and things, that's definitely like, that's such a skill. And, I'm glad that you guys are also able to do it. I want to dive a little into this like mission thing, because that's something that's so unique that I see Australia, again, to use the phrase the kids use, popping off. Like it's really good. You don't need to cringe that.
What do you mean the kids, bro? I use that vocabulary on a daily basis.
But you're the youngest of the group, so clearly
I use it too in this call. And
okay, there we go.
What the kids say.
Okay, guys, please. Okay, so I do want to know a bit more about this mission, because I'm so curious, because we recently, I think, as of recording this about a year ago, inaugurated missionaries as well for our eparchy, and it's already like been a really fruitful program, especially for the missionaries themselves. So, and Steve, can you share a little bit more about first, like, what drew you to it? Like, was it, I know for a lot of this youth ministry stuff, it's like someone pulls you into it, but like, was there anything that drew you into it as well? Like something that made you say yes or open to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. As I said, I did my first mission back in 2022, and then for that, I used to just play keys. I play the keyboard, and that's how I got into it, honestly, because I used to, I could play the keys. They knew that I could, and they started inviting me. So I think my first one was in Sydney, and that was organized by the team here. And then I think 2023 onwards, like our director, Sergeant, we call him Sergeant Jaden, he started inviting me to other missions interstate or in Sydney as well. And then, so I used to be involved in that. So for me, honestly, it was a journey, I think. And then, honestly, as time went on, as I did more and more missions, I could see the fruits of it. I could see the positive aspects of it. But honestly, in terms of full-time mission, like that wasn't in my plan. Like I wasn't planning to do a full-time mission and thing. And then the way that I got involved in that, or that at least the thinking process was, again, Solon Jaden, as told me, think about doing this full-time mission. And at the time I was like, I'm a short chatter. And then after that, I realized, what, this could be God asking me. And then some of my friends told me to think about it as well. And then I was like, what, I'll just at least pray. So then I started praying about it. And then I talked to this action that I knew was what helped me discern this. And then in the end, I realized it was something that God was calling me. And so honestly, that's why I did mission. And when people ask me, I just say, I was trying to do God's will for my life at that time. So that's why I did mission. But at the same time, there's also good things. There's a reason why you should consider doing mission as well, if you have the opportunity as well. Because mission allows you to, first of all, I think you give yourself fully more to the Lord than you ever have before, because it's full time, right? It's, you're not working, you're full every day, like that's your main focus. So I think that's one big benefit of doing mission. So, and then as well, you be with the team. So I was blessed to have Akko, and we had Sina, then we had Janet and Catherine. Those are the missionaries we had last year. So I was blessed to have a new family as well. But then again, going around to each community and ministering to the kids is a blessing. And you realize, for me, I used to think, if I died at the end of last year, I would still stay at a fruitful life, because I said that 1 year, right? There was so many seeds that God used me to give to those kids that, we may not see the fruit. And I was thinking, I may never see the fruit, but I know I did something, positive. And for us, it's not just positive, it's building the kingdom of God, right? And we know that's what it's all about. So I think for me, and that's what drew me to mission in the end. Like I just started off doing small things, right? Like I always tell myself and to everyone I know, like just be faithful in small things, and God gives you the grace to do bigger ones. So I think for me, the way I just did the small missions that came in my life, in my local community, and then whoever called me, I used to say yes to that. Unless something really prevented me, I would say no, but most of the time I would try to say yes. And then over time, God grew me as a person to give more and more each time and each mission. And that's why I think as well, God called me to full-time mission, because I was saying yes to the small missions. Is like, God was preparing me for the big one. But it was pretty crazy to be honest. I still think about it. So wow, I can't believe I did it. But that's how I was drawn to mission. Yeah, to sum it up.
Do you have maybe like a top experience, like there was like that one moment from the year that you feel like defined it, or like whether it's a good moment, a bad moment, a crazy moment, whatever it is, like looking back, are there like any key highlights?
I mean, honestly, mission, like it was a 1 year program, right? So I think we had different kind of phases. Like the first phase where you're starting, you're onboarding. We had Unite Conference 2025 was one of our first things. So that was a very big thing. And so we were very involved with that. But I think in terms of the highlight for me, I think one of the retreats, I think it was a Seek. We have a Seek, it's called for the retreat for the young adults, 18 plus. So we have Kadosh for the teens and Seek for the young adults. I think there was a Seek retreat in Perth in July, I think June, July time. I think we drove to Perth as well. That was a crazy drive. Never been like a 30-hour drive from Adelaide. I've never done a longer drive than that in my entire life. So that was itself an experience, just going there. And the retreat itself, for some reason, I think, I don't know, for me, it was just different. I don't know how. I think God at that time just, touched me myself in a unique way. And he helped me just open my eyes to what else God could do through me, I think. So, I mean, Aku would know this. So that was the first time I sang, I think publicly, at least properly. So I'm a keyboardist, and I think people used to tell me, try to sing and sing, but I would try, but for some reason, obviously, the pitch, I couldn't hold the pitch. So that was always like, I can't ever sing, I think, right? But then for some reason, on that drive, we were just singing songs, and at the end of the 2 days of driving, I felt like my voice was getting better for some reason. I don't know. I even told like Aku and Sina was with me, do I sing? Like, do I sound a little better? And she's like, yeah, you do. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then the crazy thing was during that retreat, there was one moment we had to like sing this song. And then one of the Chadins that he told me to sing this song because I suggested a song that I think was suitable. And then he told me, how about you sing? Because you're the only one who knows it. So I think I sang that song just comfortably. And I've never done that before that. So I think that was a big highlight for me. And ever since then, I've been trying to sing as well. So in terms of a highlight, to answer your question, I think that retreat itself was a highlight, but that mission itself as well, like that Perth mission, we were there for 1.5 weeks, was my highlight, at least for me, because after that, I just opened my eyes to see that, you may believe in some lies about yourself, right? Like things, 23 years, I thought I couldn't sing, right? So, but with that one day, everything changed. I realized, well, I could actually start singing. So I think that was a highlight, and I think it shows that, you never know what God can do through you. And I think that's the process of trying to follow Jesus. Every day you got to unlearn the lies that you believe by yourself and open to the promises God has for you, right? So I think in terms of that was a highlight for me for sure, that one experience at least, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really incredible. I'm still waiting for that day for the music.
Go on mission.
Yeah.
That's true. You're just gonna go on. No, but I think that's such a beautiful story. I didn't expect you to share. Like, that was really deep. I loved it. And I think, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where as you start getting involved in ministry, God definitely, pushes you into some interesting good places, and then also makes you unlearn some of the bad things too, which is really interesting. Aku, what was it like for you? Was it something similar for your year on mission? How did you get pulled into this or drawn into this?
Very similar. So just to clarify, give you an idea of what goes on. So you guys have Melvin Hutchins as your director. So Australia, like Anthony said, Soren and Sebastian. So there's a meme that we have in the SMYM community here where, like, if Soren puts his arm around you at one point, like, run for your life because he's going to pull you into something. And so that's kind of how I got my into mission 2022, like Anne Steve. And then I got like very deeply involved into I fell in love with ministry, fell in love with church, and I realized that this was me in my element. This was me, really passionate. And I realized this zeal, this zealous love for the church, this zealous love for Christ. And then I finished my university studies, was looking to work, and that became a whole journey. Like 65 job applications, all of them rejected. Now I'm not terrible, so I should get at least one of these. So then I kind of that took me on a journey of realizing, maybe full-time mission is something God wants me to do. So I did that. Biggest blessing of my life. Like Anthony said, 1 full year devoted to God really changes your perspective on things. And it's now that I'm working now, definitely new outlook on life that I don't think I would have gotten had I not done full-time mission. And yeah, it just grows you a lot. I got into mission. Like I said, I'm very passionate about church. I'm very passionate about the Syro Malabar community, very passionate about bringing Christ into other people's lives. And so I got into mission thinking, I'm going to give Christ to everyone. I'm going to change so many lives, or I'm going to do so much good. And in the end, like, the person who gets the most is you. Like, very cliche to say it, but I ended up, like, every time I went out to minister, I'm getting ministered by anyone and everyone. And so incredible growth in my spiritual journey. When I thought I'd already peaked in like where I could go, God humbled you and like brings you to new levels, taught me a lot of lessons, got to experience a wide spectrum of, the texture of the human mind by dealing with so many different like personalities within the team, people we're ministering to, families we stayed with, because that's kind of what the program was like. And so I think it's very good. I highly recommend everyone to do full-time mission. Tough journey, tough decision to make. I know. But for your soul, I realized how much my soul was lacking through that year. And it's done me beautiful things, unimaginable things this year, or from then onwards.
Yeah, I like that both of you touched on like just that it changed you, which is kind of ironic because the whole idea is like, oh, you're a missionary, you're supposed to go and like change the world, which I'm sure you do in some way. But I think even me on my end, when I talk to like new leaders or like people who are trying to get involved in youth ministry, I'm like, hey, make sure like you're ready for how you're going to be affected. Like it's not just you are now an external, like you just go and talk to everyone else. It's like, no, like God's gonna do some stuff with you too, man. Like it's not gonna be just you preach the gospel, call it a day and go home. It's gonna be, no, you're gonna get challenged, you're gonna get really annoyed, all that stuff. Like it's all gonna come up. Yeah, no, I think that's incredible. And I want to just to quickly, maybe for people who don't know, like, or don't have a sense of it, what did the day to day look like for you? Like, what was like an average week or an average month on mission?
And Steve, me or you?
You go first.
Honestly, it varies because, like, obviously we're still growing. So just for anyone who needs clarification, so Sliha de Mishiha is the name of the mission arm of SMYM. So Sliha de Mishiha, Aramaic for Syriani for Apostle of Christ. And started in 2021 with the first full-time missionary, Anne Katikaran, who went on to the convent, and if all goes well, she'll come back to Australia as a nun next year. And then 2024, we had Tonya Kurishangal, who went the opposite direction, who after mission year finished, found her man's on mission. So great marketing if you want to convince someone through mission. And then 2025 came and we had the first full-time team. So the day-to-day very much evolved, but right now the phase that we're very much in is ministering within the Syro Malabar Eparchy, or that's what it was like for us. So day-to-day was pretty much spending a week in different parishes and missions. Daytime, you're usually planning, praying, prepping for events. You might be invited to families' houses to spend time with them. You'll pray for their families. You'll talk to them. Very fun, like family atmosphere. Evening time, we would do like programs for preteens, teens, or young adults, kind of a mix of all of that. And then in between of that, we peppered in like residential retreats for Kadosh, like Anstey said, the teens retreat, youth retreat, we had Seek. And so a lot of that. So it very much changes from day to day. And it's changing as well. It's evolving. Like this year, our full-time missionary crew, they started off their first mission ministering in Catholic high school in like Australia based. So like the first mission was not even within the Syro Malabar community. So it's constantly evolving and the day to day is changing. But where we are right now, that's kind of what it looks like even for them right now. And things have definitely changed lately because last year our Eparchy acquired a pastoral center called Sandham Grove. And so now a lot of the mission work is also helping out with what goes on in there because there's always programs happening. But that's more or less what the day-to-day looks like. Again, things change depending on the programs that come, what comes on the docket. But the idea is people. Whatever helps us get to people, our day-to-day matches that. So staying with families, spending time with people, going and visiting parishes, all that kind of stuff.
Also, they drove so much. They drove all around the country. I think there's only a handful of flights that they took, the Sliha team last year. Previously, when we only had one Sliha, they would fly everywhere. But last year, we had the privilege of getting a car for the Slihas, and they really made the most of that. So I don't know, Aku and see if you guys calculated the amount of kilometers you drove, but these guys have driven all over the country, and that's not even a figurative speech.
I have it here somewhere. I can once I when I get a free second, I'll tell you exactly how many kilometers.
Yeah.
I'm so curious actually because I know I know I was on the national team the first year out of COVID, and everyone was just like riding the wave of we need to do as many things as possible. There was a point I think where I traveled almost every month at least across the country. And so I imagine, especially if you're doing a full year of mission, oh my goodness, the amount of driving. When you said 30 hours, and Steve, I don't even know what that looks like in my head. Like I can't even comprehend 30 hours of driving. 35. Okay, even worse.
Perth is the furthest place in Australia. Like for all of the other states, it's the furthest in terms of flight. It's just the most unattainable place. So if you want to go to Perth, you're going there for a good reason because you're spending a decent amount of money or a decent amount of time just driving there. But yeah, so 30 hours is only really applicable from like Perth to somewhere. All the other states are usually between 10 to 16-ish hours, more or less, from one state to another, which is pretty decent. I've done like an 8-hour to 10-hour drive. Yeah. It's not the worst. But when they have like programs and then like these guys, I've seen them literally wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, pack up the car and just go, just so they can make it. And Like, I would love seeing their conversation be like, guys, we need to find mass on the way. And sometimes they're going through some really rural roads. So these guys have really just literally not just served across the country, but they've also attended, I'm sure, mass or kurbana like across
In the
Australia.
middle of whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah, we traveled 28,000 kilometers in 2025.
I need to
A new car. They really
Mic
made the
drop.
most of it.
Mic drop.
That is a mic drop moment.
That's so
Yeah.
that, and that's only like that's distance between missions. Obviously, there's like a lot of within missions, a lot of traveling that happens. But yeah,
Wow, I can't even comprehend that number. 28,000 is
I don't know
that
how
is
many miles that is. But
Give me 1 second.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
yeah, as soon as I said kilometers, I was like, he's not
Or
gonna get them.
metrics.
He's not gonna get. Yeah, I got a bone to pick with USA about that, mate. Just be normal like the rest of us. Why do you have to go make your own thing?
Because why not? That
Is it-
is
Purely pride.
I mean, not that this is an important reference for you whatsoever, but it's saying on Google at least that's 17,398 miles, which is very, very, very high. Yeah,
Means nothing.
I know.
Miles means nothing to me.
To me, it's insane. That's
Oh,
so-
you know, I think St. Paul says no. St. Thomas Aquinas says true love knows no measure. So these are just numbers to us. We don't care.
Okay. So does that clear up your beef with the whole miles and kilometers? Or are we still gonna have this argument at the end of the
No,
call?
I will hold this grudge against USA forever.
Okay.
Me
okay.
too.
I'll
As
take
an
it to the
engineer?
grave. I'll take it to the grave.
The amount of calculations I had to do in like miles and all of those US metrics just because the US refuses to convert and to join the rest of the world is absolutely insane.
I will say the one thing that annoys me about miles, and this is again such a random tangent, is that it's not even a clean number. Like it's
No,
like
it's not.
it's what 5,280.
Yeah.
Or is that might be for something else? That might be for like feet to miles or something. Yeah, it's a random number is all I know. Like it's very irritating to see it.
I was just to go on a very like stupid tangent. Like I was cooking something and I found a recipe online of TikTok, and then they're like set the air fryer at like 300 degrees, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, what? I don't think this is like where does it go? It doesn't go to. And then I like went on ChatGPT and it's like you're probably like reading in Fahrenheit. Put it in this book. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that seems about right. Yeah, 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is what, like dead in Celsius?
Boiling point is 100 degrees.
Yeah. Yeah. How do we get here? Oh, driving. That's what it was.
Yeah.
You said miles. That was it. That was enough.
Set you guys off. This is really good to know because I know I think I mentioned this at the end of this. I want to do a little like America versus Australia thing, just to see how this goes.